Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our wrestling podcast. So, without further ado, the following topic is scheduled for one fall, and today's topic, right place, right time, 2. And don't forget, you can listen to us on Spotify, Soundcloud, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.
Dave, I am going.
Welcome to the O.W.P. This is our wrestling podcast. This is Dave along with Jess.
Well, how are you, Dave? That's the most important question.
I'm fantastic. Cuz.
Right here, bud.
And Craig.
Finger guns your way, buddy.
All right.
Get your mic
Bringing you
on.
our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. And now on to our topic today, right place, right time, part 2. Hit us up on Instagram at O.W.P 2019. Click on Linktree. You can find us on several platforms, including Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. These are fun, aren't they, guys? I love wrestling getting real and right place, right time. These are kind of cool topics that we always talk about, and we decided to bring them to the podcast. What do you say?
Just a fun, grand time, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So the first one,
Good start.
part one
Good
that
start,
we did,
everybody.
it was genius. To kind of refresh everyone's mind here, the first one was right place, right time. What we mean was wrestlers that were inserted into a match that they weren't originally booked in, or a storyline, and they ended up winning a title from it or getting a main event spot out of it. Like, for example, 2 examples from part 1 was, one of them was Kofi Kingston. Everybody knows they were going with somebody different to align with Daniel Bryan for that WrestleMania run. He got injured. Kofi was in the right place at the right time. They put him in that gauntlet match or whatever it was. And then he ended up getting the crowd support so much to where even the next week, the crowd were still chanting Kofi, Kofi. And then finally they were like, shit, we have to write Kofi into the storyline. So it was legitly organic. It was legitly something that they had to put him into. He got so popular, in fact, and got so much momentum that he won the world championship from Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 35. So the second example was Honky Tonk Man. Ricky Steamboat comes off WrestleMania 3, has this tear down the house match with Macho Man Randy Savage, one that people still talk about to this day. Vince wanted to keep the title on him for a while. Steamboat's like, my son's being born. I want some time off. He's like, I don't give my champions time off. I need you, pal. And Steamboat's like, go fuck yourself. I need time off. So he's like, fine. So they're going to take the title off him, and then we're going to put it on Butch Reed. But Butch Reed no-showed on the TV tapings that they were going to put the title on him. So legitly, for the most part, it's a little hazy, but they were in the hallway and Vince was actually asking Hulk Hogan, like, what do I do? I need to put the title on a good heel. Who do I use? And Honky was getting dressed in the hallway. He's like, what about that guy, brother? And Honky's like, what? Who, me? And that was it. They were like, they put the Intercontinental Champion on Honky. Honky ended up becoming the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. That's what right place, right time is about.
What do you say, cuz?
Right place, right time is also about, I was in the right aisle at Total Wine & More. I found this chocolate milk hazelnut milk stout, and it's fucking great. But you know what? The Kofi Kingston, that's that right place, right time moment, and that match, everything how that played out. To me, that's the epitome of it, and I can't wait to tackle this topic, especially because I'm seeing the notes and one of the, I'll just say it right now, Jess's opinion on Shawn Michaels. I'm reading the notes, and I can't wait till we get to that. So, and all the moments that we have lined up here is fucking great.
And I can't wait to say that your idea of beer is disgusting. Craig, go ahead.
You're disgusting.
That's true.
Fucking
Albert Einstein
Both
once
statements are
said,
true.
in the middle of difficulty. What I miss? What happened?
Oh,
No, we were laughing
going
at
off
you.
the rails here.
Yeah.
Guys.
You know what? I'm going to take charge of this. All right, first moment. Here we go.
Yeah. You
All right, Dave, go ahead. Rip into it, Dave. Let's go.
All right. And what I will say is I think the whole reason why we came back to right place, right time for the second time is because of what just happened recently. And we're talking about a person who we always thought was going to get the title shot a lot sooner. I know Cuz is a big fan of this big bastard. And I'm like, no, it's not time. What? It'll never be time, whatever. Cuz is like, God. he should have already had it, right? Yeah, well, we're fucking talking about it, so yeah, I want to open it up. What the fuck is wrong with you? Jesus. Anyway, Braun Strowman defeats Goldberg for the United Championship.
The Universal Championship United, Dave. Jesus Christ.
I know, I'm sorry.
It is a parcel company?
I'm sorry, yeah. That's awesome. For the Universal Championship.
I abbreviate something and I derailed Dave.
I fucked it all off. It's my fault. It's nobody. You can abbreviate all you want. It's on me. It's on me. Cuz has me all rattled now. Jesus.
Good.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
And fucking Mania 36. So basically,
twisting my words here.
In my opinion, Goldberg actually beats the Fiend in Saudi because you want to save the Fiend. It's like, oh, it's a quick, crazy win. Something happened. It goes wrong. So it saves face at WrestleMania for the Fiend, in my opinion, to take the title off of him because they were going to go with Roman Reigns. That was the plan. Everybody knew that was the plan. But I think people were so adamant about not having the Fiend lose face a little bit because they fucked off Bray Wyatt before this way where he shouldn't have lost. He lost more than he should have, and they destroyed his character over time where they had to completely retool him, repackage him, in my opinion, right? And I think a lot of others. But in this case, this is why Goldberg wins the championship in a freak show at Saudi. And at the time, we all know that Roman is due to beat him at WrestleMania. Just one problem. It's a little thing called COVID-19. Maybe you fucking heard of it. It's the reason why we're all stuck in our houses for like 2 months straight. Roman, unfortunately, has a pre-existing condition. You know, he's had cancer. He's had leukemia on more than one occasion of his life. It leaves, it comes back. Because it's what you call like an immunodeficiency. He tells Vince and others, I can't do this. I can't be in this environment. I have to be home. I can't risk my family, everything else. So,
and as early as today, actually, he said he has newborn twins at his house.
Yeah.
And that was one of the major reasons why.
Yes.
That he couldn't. They're only 8 weeks old or something like that. So he cannot put them at risk.
I didn't even know that. I didn't see that article.
Yeah,
so
he said that himself.
He did an interview with TMZ today, I think, something like that.
Oh wow, even more so, right? So due to that outbreak, Roman pulls himself out of the match, and it's always one of those things. Well, who are we going to put in there? Who's going to be able to beat Goldberg in the same fashion? And Braun's just sitting on the sidelines at this point, in a sense. They might have had plans for him at WrestleMania, but it wasn't this. And literally, Braun just gets pulled into the match at the last minute to face Goldberg. And we've talked about the match. We actually did, because it was such an odd WrestleMania, we actually did a review in our archive, thumbs up, thumbs down. It'll be something that we'll never forget. But in a really tough match where it wasn't really long, it wasn't built. We know Goldberg can't go longer than 5 minutes. Let's be real about it. Hey, Jess,
3 minutes.
It was at 3 minutes?
No, he can't go longer than 3 minutes.
I thought you might have known the actual longevity.
He actually, it's legitly known that he gets blown up after 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah, it's just a fact. It's science.
Yeah, he was diagnosed.
It's in his contract.
Yeah, he was diagnosed.
With
it's in his contract.
Moabitis after 3 minutes.
And by the way, Braun, this is his first world title in WWE. So it's a complete right place, right time, right?
Cover up for the leg, and after four power slams, Roman wins the title. Here's your winner and the new Universal.
Yes, absolutely. You can say whatever you want about like the way Braun was booked. I like Braun a lot, and I think that especially like one of the big bright spots was the last man standing match between him and Corbin. Was it like 3 or 4 months ago, something like that? Like that was excellent. Like that was a really good match. Every match he did with Roman Reigns was good as well. I really like the build up with Braun. Unfortunately, he was in the right place at the right time, and they inserted him here. We're in crazy times, no matter what side you're on, no matter what you believe or you don't believe, or, if you're red or blue, doesn't matter. We're in crazy times. And so it's hard for me to judge it, but this is the definition of right place, right time, because Roman pulls himself out and Braun was probably sitting there. Who, me? And there you go. Like he's Universal Champion. Yeah. Anybody else with a little comments?
I got a bone to pick with you, Dave. I think you're trying to imply that I think Braun should have been champion from the get-go, All I ever said in the past was that
you said they should have strapped the rocket to him a while back.
I said they were booking him properly when they were booking him as the monster when he was destroying Roman and fucking coming out of nowhere with the "I'm not finished with you." I'm saying if you were building him like that, why put him in these title matches all the time only for him to lose and look like a fucking jackass for fucking getting killed by Brock Lesnar every fucking time he was in there in a title match?
Because that's what you do with big men, cuz. We already talked about this.
Oh, God. Here we go. All I ever said was that they were booking him properly at that time, and then they fucked up by having him get in these championship matches and losing. Now, right place, right time for sure. With this one, I would have preferred Monster Crazy Braun. I'm not finished with you. I'm going to kill you as the champion. Then Goody Tissues. Now he's going to be a babyface Braun Strowman champion. But yeah, right place, right time. Obviously, I didn't want to see Goldberg carrying the strap anymore. So it is what it is. It's the circumstances that we're in. Poor Roman. It's unfortunate, that he had to pull out, but, understandable, his reasons, respect that. WWE is not mad at him, despite what a lot of dirt sheets are saying. But, it sucks. And yeah, this is a perfect example of right place, right time. Go ahead, Dave.
How about Craig? Can't you hand it off to the ring?
No, I just wanted to give it to you so you could direct it to Craig. Just kidding. Sorry, Craig. Go ahead.
Mom, Dad, don't fight. Yeah, I mean, for these guys,
fuck you, Dave.
It's when opportunity comes, kind of grab it. I mean, it's right place, right time, and it seems that it's kind of a bit of luck. But these guys all work their butts off, and the harder they work, the kind of the more moments of luck that they have. So I think McMahon's always liked Strowman and been waiting kind of for this moment. And sometimes it happens sooner than you think, or sometimes it happens in the blink of an eye, and you get your spot with a little kismet and by accident almost. So good for him. I mean, sadly, this match won't be in the history books, and it won't be on the DVD, 2-disc DVD set of the best of Braun Strowman. But it happened, and he came out the winning end of it.
But the end of it where he beats him will be on there, but that's about it, right? So I'm with you. Second topic, Jess, you ready?
Sure.
All right,
sure.
Man. How about this? Money Incorporated defeats Legion of Doom to win the WWF tag titles at a house show on February 2nd of 1992. Now, that in itself just sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? I mean, this is insane. For one thing, according to Jess's notes here, Ted DiBiase and IRS, they were single wrestlers on the heel side forever. They had not even debuted on television as a tag team up until this. Actually, not at all, because this is a house show. They haven't even debuted as a tag team, period. But that's what happens when Hawk fails a drug test and the company has to take the belt off them and take them off TV, take them off tour, everything else. So nobody knew that the title would change hands until the wrestlers arrived at the show that actual night. That's one of those things where Vince is like, "Hey, pal, got your test back. We're going to have to make some changes." And out of nowhere, freaking Money Incorporated, I don't even know if that's how they were announced when they went into the house show. It's probably just Ted DiBiase and IRS. And they had to come up with a name on the back end. Jess, I don't know if that's true. It seems like it was last minute.
This represents WWF in 1992 because not even a month before, Brett was having a contract dispute. So he lost to the Mountie right before the Royal Rumble 92 in a house show because he was running, I'm doing air quotes, 102-degree fever. He might have had COVID even back in 1992. That's the area that they don't want you to be at with your temperature. So everybody check your temperature.
The Calgary flu, they called it back then.
Brett's like, I don't care who I infect. I'm coming out with no mask or gloves, and I'm coming out and I'm going to defend my IC title. And he lost. So not even a month before, their second biggest singles championship was changed hands in the same fashion. And now, like 3 weeks to a month later, their tag team titles were changed. So 1992 was a year of fucking batshit craziness for WWF. Hawk fails a drug test. Instead of putting it on an established tag team, I do admire for what they did. They kind of came up with the gimmick on the fly. They're like, look, we're going to insert this in our syndicated TV because our syndicated shit had already been taped. So basically they inserted it in that Jimmy Hart decided on the last minute it was supposed to be a title defense against the Nasty Boys, but Jimmy Hart made the executive decision to, no, I'm going to put DiBiase and IRS in there. This is all storyline, by the way. I'm going to put DiBiase and IRS in there to throw LOD off, and it worked, and we won the titles. So then it created a feud between the Nasty Boys and Jimmy Hart, who left the Jimmy Hart camp because they couldn't trust Jimmy Hart anymore. They turned face. They kind of chased the titles for a bit, and Money Incorporated, the tag team, was formed. And dare I say, Money Incorporated, probably one of the greatest WWF tag teams of all time. Like, I'm being serious. Like, they won the tag titles like 2-3 times at least. They fought teams like LOD, the Steiner Brothers, Natural Disasters. Like, they did good stuff. They were good.
It really seemed like they planned this for a long time, and they were literally just fucking thrown together.
Yeah, it was a house show where they got there, and Vince is like, come in my room for a second. They're like, to do the thing? And he's like, no, not that thing. Come here. Like, and then they went in there. And then he told them Hawk failed a drug test, and it was weird. It's a weird thing. But yeah, it's really odd. It's a crazy moment. Right place, right time.
Look right into our eyes. Do you see a couple of fools? I think not. And you're going to find out what happens when Money Incorporated deals with nasty people like you. We'll put you back out on the street, right where you belong. And I'll tell you something else, nasty boys. You should have never, ever put your hands on our manager, because nobody gets away with that, and it's time for you to pay. We're the champions. And because we're champions, we realize that we should never take anybody too lightly. You got the reputation of being nasty boys because that's exactly what you are. We know you'll do anything to win. What do you think?
There's a rumor online that this match does not exist, and that was kind of part of Hawk and Animal were so pissed they had to lose it. They agreed to if it wouldn't either be shown everyone or once they found out that it wouldn't be recorded. So I don't know if that's true or if this match exists at all. But
I don't remember them
South
showing
American
any.
Championship?
To your point, to your point, I don't remember them showing them footage of this match at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you might be 100% right.
So this is like
It was a Rio de Janeiro Pat Patterson winning the IC title.
South American Championship tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, cuz how does that float your fucking boat?
You know what? It floats it very nicely, actually, because I
cool,
love
man.
Money Inc. Anyways, so I
They're
actually didn't know
fucking
much
great,
about.
No doubt, they're great.
Yeah, I didn't know much about the circumstances until we had to do this episode tonight. But I mean, all I can really say about it.
You did so much research, right?
Yeah, I actually didn't anticipate being on this episode originally. So
This was the episode he slept through.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
I slept through the house show, watching the house show.
But when
Slept through
you
the house
really
show
think
next
about the two characters, it's the $1 Million Man and the IRS, who like it's like so polar opposite, but at the same time,
you'd think they'd hate each other.
It's all about money.
Yeah.
And well, maybe maybe
You're
the
not
$1
taking
Million
my
Man,
money.
Yeah, right? Like,
but he bought off.
yeah, the
IRS.
storyline was made like a lot of money, but I'm going to audit you. No, you won't. Like, it is just like,
He's all, here's $1 million.
Pay your taxes.
IRS is the ultimate face.
I
By
gotta
the
say,
way, who's IRS kids? Who are the kids
The
of
Wyatts.
IRS, by the way?
I was about to bring that up. I was gonna say the older that he's gotten, the more I see Bray Wyatt's eyes and facial features in him.
In IRS.
Yeah. I saw a picture of him like a couple days ago. I think I saw it on Mika Rotunda. I think there was a picture of him on her page, and I was like, God, you could see where they get the eyes from. You could see it a lot more nowadays than you did back then.
I guess my thing is like, if you have a cool name like Rotunda, why would you change it? Rotunda just sounds like a wrestling name to me.
I mean, for Bray Wyatt's character,
Bray Wyatt is way better.
But Dallas should be Bo Rotunda. That'd be cool.
Bo Rotunda?
Bo Rotunda, why not?
Just come out as Rotunda.
Okay, well, whatever.
All right, well, no, fuck off.
Yeah.
All right, are you ready for the third topic of Right Place, Right Time?
Yeah, this one.
How about this one? This probably pissed off a lot of people, but at the end, we all respect.
We
this
know
cat.
what happens after. Yeah.
Christian
Especially this
defeats Alberto Del Rio to win the title at Extreme Rules on May 11th.
Oh, you didn't even want to read my abbreviation on
2011.
that, you sack of shit?
The World Heavyweight Championship.
He's like the wheel helicopter
the wheel helicopter
car
cheese cart
championship.
at Extreme Rules, May 11th, 2011.
Dave's like Ron Burgundy. He'll read anything on the teleprompter.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
That was a great show, wasn't it?
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
You're fired, Ron. You're fired. Bing bong.
The Wihick Championship.
Anyway, That's right. So Edge was scheduled to what? Jess, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Edge, I will. Let me read English. Edge was scheduled to defend the World Heavyweight Championship against Del Rio in a ladder match at Extreme Rules. What part of that sentence could you not read?
What?
You gonna get your shillelagh there, you fucking Irish?
Why are you starting it there? So he was scheduled to defend it. He retires on Raw.
Right.
On April
11th. It's called chronological order, Dave. Keep going.
Yeah. Due to spinal stenosis.
Cervical spinal stenosis.
Oh, God.
I know. He's going off the rails and he's yelling at me for no reason.
What are you, fucking imitating me tonight? What are you doing?
So stupid. He forfeits the championship, and then Christian wins a 20-man battle royal to win a shot against Del Rio for the vacant title. So he forfeits it only to win it. Why is that right place, right time? What is that about? You give me the backstory.
What?
Edge forfeited the title so Christian could win it. Do you need to read everything all over again, or do you want me to do it?
I'm sorry. Edge and Christian.
Oh, you're sorry.
I thought they were the same guy.
Well, yeah, Edge is not the same guy as Christian. Just so you know.
Might as well be.
Just okay.
You already know how I feel about it.
You know what? Christian can just never catch a break, man. And
don't get mad at Christian for your lack of reading skills when you've had 9 gins.
Don't get mad at me because I think they're the same person.
You just don't like Edge.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the point.
Oh, I didn't know this. You hate Edge?
Look at the WrestleMania match. It'll prove everything.
God, should we just move on to the next one? Because Dave's really shit the bed on this one.
Whoa, that's
you gotta tell. I mean, come on, man. He fucking had to retire.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about this one because Dave's all over the goddamn place. So anyway, Edge was World Heavyweight Champion. He was supposed to defend against Del Rio. He legitimately had to retire because he had cervical spinal stenosis, which is hard for Dave to read. And WHC means World Heavyweight Championship. So he had to forfeit the title. Christian wins a number 1 contender. For his best friend, he beats Del Rio to win the title. Everybody knows that title didn't last on Christian's waist very long, but he was in the right place at the right time because he was Edge's best friend. And so when Edge had to forfeit the title, it made sense for at least a while, for a couple weeks. They were like, you know what? Let's just do a feel-good moment, and we'll have Christian win the world title in Edge's honor.
And his first heavyweight championship, right?
Wow.
Yeah. His first heavyweight championship. Yep.
Edge is here! Edge is retired! Oh my! Here we go. Why is Edge here? Get out of here! You should be collecting your annual paycheck somewhere. What are you doing out here? The rated R superstar here to see his best friend Christian become the world champion.
And trust me, I know what this feels like. It's the best feeling you're ever going to have in your professional career. And Christian has finally done it. He is now the world champion.
And the new world heavyweight champion, Christian.
So if Edge didn't retire, I don't know if Christian ever wins a world title. Probably not. Because Vince never really liked Christian, like Dave.
Yeah, he said he didn't have the mug for it, right?
Yeah, Vince actually thought he was ugly. Legitly, like Vince thought he was ugly.
Edge isn't. Edge doesn't have a fugly face.
You know,
I'm sorry, that's not very nice.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it doesn't make sense.
Vince showed it in the what was the UK Raw when Vince came out and Christian was out there with Tomka and Vince called him a creepy little bastard. He's like, my adversary was right when he labeled you a CLB, a creepy little bastard. So Vince never. Back then. That was like an 05 or 06 too when that happened. Vince,
especially when like the women would react to Christian, Vince was known going around in the backstage area, just going like, I just don't get it. I don't think he's good looking at all. I think he's ugly. Like he would go around and tell people that about Christian. That's just sometimes when Vince gets in that mode, and it's semi-bullying mode, to be honest. Like, how would you like to go to work every day?
Right? Maybe he wanted Christian to tackle him on an airplane.
Maybe. Yeah, right. Maybe if Christian challenged him to a takedown.
Challenge him on his looks. I am good looking,
Vince.
Vince. Okay, I respect you.
Yeah.
Can
you imagine going to work every day? Every time you walk in the door, you fucking, you wake up in the morning, you commute to work, you walk in the door, and your boss is like, hey, ugly. Like, I'd be like, I'm going to fucking beat the shit out of you or kill myself. Like, I can't believe Christian even stood in there and, like, dealt with this shit. Vince was known to do that bullshit to people a lot. Unfortunately, for all the good stuff you hear about Vince, and he'll give someone money on the side and, like, pay Ric Flair's $19.2 billion in taxes that he fucking owed because Flair never figured out how to pay his own taxes. Like, you just get, for all the good, you just hear this shit about about Vince sometimes, and it's like a
Kinda-
alpha male bully mentality, and it's absolute shit.
Hey,
Kind
pal,
of
we're gonna put a mask on you.
It speaks to Christian's moxie, though, doesn't it? I mean, he put up with that
Dude,
for a
Christian
while.
was getting popped,
and
man.
He still takes the jokes even after he kind of retired. They make fun of him on. They had the Edge and Christian show, and they would make fun of it even then. He would just kind of, take it out on himself. So I mean, you got to give credit to those guys, but I wasn't the biggest fans of those guys past.
Well,
tag
you don't
team.
give credit to Edge.
No, I don't.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
I don't know why he's even in the double digits of championships. It doesn't make sense.
Because he's
So
good.
that's fine. Okay, whatever.
Oh, whoa.
He hates Edge so much he even pretends not to know how to read when he has to read anything with Edge. And
He hates
like,
Braun
he's
Strowman.
just-
I really,
He hates AJ
it really
Styles.
fucked the whole thing. Fucked me off. It was such a, I don't know. I can't.
You don't think they're a skinny
just-
power and glory?
Craig, I love you so much, man.
What if his name was Edge? Would you love him
fantastic.
still?
A skinny Power and Glory? No, they were better than Power and Glory. But that's a tag team.
There you go.
That's
Thanks,
the problem.
Edge.
The minute you make them singles, I just get pissed. Too little.
Wow.
Too ridiculous. That's fine, though. He did start the "You Suck" chants. Edge did, so that's fine. Anywho.
And this led to another
we have our
championship.
fourth
I mean,
and
he
fi-
won it twice, and this kind of being the first one kind of proved himself a little bit, and never had the history and the prestige of Edge, but sadly for Edge's retirement, kind of put him over and gave it to him. So this is
And
perfect.
Christian
right?
and Randy Orton went on to have a great program with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Which he came on the short end of that feud, I think, 3 times in a row. Or no, he beat Horton for the second one, but like he never quite.
He did beat,
Yeah.
but they had great rivalry there. Yeah. So it led to good
True.
things.
All right, for the fourth and final, we have Razor Ramon and Dean Douglas becoming Intercontinental Champions
I want you to read that word.
on
for
the
word.
same night at In Your House at October 22nd of 1995.
Read it.
Read it. Read the first
Read
line.
it. Read the notes, Dave.
Okay, I'm gonna read it exactly how it's written, guys, so I don't get in trouble over here like I did last time. Originally, piece of shit, Shawn Michaels was scheduled to defend his Intercontinental title against Dean Douglas. Due to a bar fight against several Marines, Shawn was injured in real life, IRL, and could not wrestle.
And this
He had
is
to
where
s-
they played the angle, right? Where Owen Hart did the Enziguri. Isn't that right? And
Yeah,
they-
when he
they
came
used
back
that as
eventually
the-
later. Yeah, when he came back later. Yeah.
He had to surrender the title to Dean Douglas that night. However, President Gorilla Monsoon ordered a mandatory title defense against Razor Ramon right away. Ramon actually defeated Douglas to win his 4th Intercontinental Championship, which at the time was totally unprecedented, right? Wrong?
Yes, it was record. It was record setting.
There you go. So yeah, I did better that
So
time.
yeah, like
All right.
yeah, yeah, you did perfect actually on
There
that
you
one. You
All
sack
right.
of shit.
You sack of
So,
shit. I knew it's
usually
coming.
that's reserved for cuz. Yeah, like it was fucking weird. Like I remember watching it and like you could just Michael's such a cocksuck. So what happened was he was at a bar and there was a group of Marines there and he was at the bar with people like Davey Boy, Sean Waltman, 123 Kid, and like 2 or 3 other people. So some of them decided to be like, we're leaving. So Michaels was like, no, I still want to stay here and be obnoxious in front of Marines. That's just what I do. So he stayed there, and I guess they drove in the same rental car, Davey Boy, the Kid, and Michaels. So he was pissing off the Marines all night long. That's what the story says, is that he was just like instantly like, I don't think they liked him, and because he was loud and crass, because that's what Shawn Michaels does. And Shawn was pushing their buttons and trolling them the whole night.
But
So
he's a
basically,
sexy boy, so it's
yeah,
fine.
they all start. Yeah, he is a sexy boy. So they all started doing probably sexy drugs and sexy alcohol.
Sexy boy.
So they all got super drunk and smashed or whatever. And Sean Waltman, the Kid, went out to the rental car and passed out in the back seat. So Michaels was still in the bar with Davey Boy. So Michaels at one point said, hey, Davey, when you're done, I'll be out in the car. I'm going to go fucking sleep in the passenger seat. And you can drive us home, which is totally safe because I'm sure Davey Boy was completely sober. So, and there was no Uber back here. So basically, Michaels goes to the car. When the Marines see him leave, they go out and they kind of casually all leave one by one and go and meet him at his car. And they beat the shit out of Shawn Michaels right outside their rental car while Sean Waltman sleeps in the back. Davey Boy realizes what's happening, runs out, but they've already like ran Michaels' head into the car door. They beat the shit out of him, and then they all leave or whatever. I don't remember if they caught any of them or not, but Michaels legitly had a concussion, had both eyes blackened, got beat they beat the shit out of him pretty good. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. So basically, he was already booked to defend the IC title against Dean Douglas. Now, my thing is this: I don't think Dean Douglas was supposed to win the championship, because they wouldn't have had Ramon come right in. Like, after they realized Michaels couldn't wrestle and he legitimately had to be pulled out of the match, they would have just put the title on Dean Douglas. And if they would have, like, tried to entertain us, like, okay, we don't want to fuck the crowd without a match, he'll defend the title against Ramon. Douglas could have won by DQ or count out or whatever, right? Like, at that point to defend the title. They obviously weren't even wanting to put the title on Dean Douglas because he had fallen out of favor. The Clique did not like Dean Douglas. So there was already a falling out at this point with Dean Douglas and Vince and Michaels and Nash and all them in the back. So I don't think Dean was ever supposed to win the title at all. If Michaels was healthy, my best guess is he was going to go over Dean and retain his IC title, and that was it. But Dean got the title awarded to him, right place, right time, and then Gorilla Monsoon in the storyline said, well, you got to defend it against the former 3-time champion, Ramon. And this match was not good, and the ending was not good. And you could tell this was all almost on the fly. They only found out a couple days before or the day before that Michaels really legitimately couldn't go. And they couldn't even put Michaels in there to lose a quick 30, 40-second match. That's how hurt Michaels was and how much of a concussion he had, was they couldn't even fuck with him in the ring. So, yeah, like right place, right time, both guys.
I am not allowing Shawn Michaels to compete here tonight. However, there will be an Intercontinental title defense here tonight. I have asked Shawn Michaels to publicly forfeit the Intercontinental belt to me tonight, right in the ring, at which time I will take it and present it to Dean Douglas, making him the new Intercontinental champion with all the rights and privileges of that title. However, Dean Douglas will have to defend that title right here tonight.
What was the official reason for him being stripped? Did they say he was concussed? What was it?
Yes, yeah, they said that he got into an altercation in an outside venue, or they might have even said a bar. They did legitimately say that he got attacked by some people. They didn't say Marines because they couldn't shit on the Marines. So they said he got attacked by a group of assailants outside of a bar, and he was left with a concussion, so he could not do it. So they had to and he was a face at the time, so they kind of had to gear it towards, like, he was innocently attacked. He was not an instigator. He was not a piece of shit druggie. He was totally fine doing what he was doing, normal Shawn Michaels stuff and donating to charity, and these bastards came and attacked him. That's
so was Lost My Smile after that? After the immediate, like,
yes,
okay,
yes,
but close to this
Lost
time,
My Smile,
right?
Lost My Smile was in.
That's the world title that.
Okay.
Yes,
got it.
Lost My Smile was at the beginning of 1997.
Okay. For some reason, I always Lost My Smile. He got his ass kicked, and then he lost his smile, and then he left after this. But I have my timeline wrong.
Several things happened with Michaels. It's always something.
That is the timeline. He got his ass kicked, then he lost his smile. Just they weren't related.
Right? Yeah, I can confirm that when he came out live that night in the arena to forfeit the title, he was not smiling. That was a fact. That was a fact.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's heartbroken. And Shawn Michaels is just about heartbroken, I would suggest, yes. Michaels watching Dean Douglas put the Intercontinental Championship around his waist.
Yeah, and like I don't know, just the Dean was, again, Hall was part of the Clique, Ramon was part of the Clique in the back, and Dean had fallen out of favor with them like months before, and like you could tell they did not gel, and it looked like a rush match, and the ending sucked, and like it was awful. Like, but Ramon did win his 4th IC title, and this is a case where 2 people were in the right place at the right time. Basically, Dean already being scheduled to face Michaels, and that's just me guessing. I tried to research.
I don't think he was going to win, Jess. I mean,
yeah, I tried to research to figure out who was going to win that night, but nobody really said anything. I looked at a lot of Shane Douglas shoot interviews too, and he never said anything really that led you to believe. But I could tell if they had Ramon come out that night, he wasn't supposed to win. Because like I said, if he was going to win that night, they would have forfeited it, given it to him. They probably could have still strolled Ramon out there to, give the crowd a match, not cheat them out of a match. But again, he would have lost by DQ, or maybe he would have been counted out and Ramon would have won the title so he could chase him. But Dean would have retained Ramon would have won by count out and Dean would have retained the title so they could chase each other in house shows.
There you go.
But
Now you're
yeah,
is that what it was? So why didn't they just
happen.
put it up, have him stripped, put it up for a battle with Ramon and Dean fighting over it, and have Ramon win it cleanly, and Dean wouldn't have never touched the title?
I guess because Dean was technically supposed to wrestle him at that night.
Yes, he was. Dean and Sean were booked to fight for the IC title that night. But because Sean couldn't show up, they quote unquote awarded the title to Douglas by forfeit. And then Gorilla said, "Where are you going? I got a challenger for you. You're not going to get off that easy. Razor Ramon." And Razor Ramon came out and they started the match right there. So yeah, it was just a rush job. Even though they did know like a day or two before, I think, that Michaels couldn't go, they just kind of we'll just leave it at that. We'll just bring you out, Ramon, and you'll win, and there you go. So that shows me that I don't think Dean was ever in the plans to win the title legitly at all.
1, 2, and the count of 3. What? I can't believe it. Wait a minute. Oh, Razorhead was his arm across him. That's all it takes, but whose shoulders were down here? Who won the match? Oh, wait a minute. I think D. Douglas has his arm across Razor. Let's get the official decision.
The winner of the match and Intercontinental Champion, Razor Ramon.
Wow. What?
And we've known each other
crazy.
for a long time as friends. I don't think we've ever gone to a bar and then the other guy's like, "Well, I'm not leaving. You go sleep in the car." And then one of us has to go sleep in the car because the guy can't leave. That's not a cool friend. Just as a side note,
just the way, unfortunately, and I'm not trying to shit on the other two guys either, but they've been known to abuse substances and stuff, especially Kid. And, it's like, yeah, it was all dysfunctional, right? Like nothing was normal about that story. And who knows, I totally see Sean being obnoxiously drunk all night and these Marines getting annoyed by him. You have a long haired guy, good looking guy, probably coming to the bar. Maybe the Marines were there with women and Sean's fucking picking up on him. You know what I mean? I'm just speculating. Yeah, I'm speculating. He just fucking gets up on the bar and takes his pants off. I just feel that, and he still has his fanny pack on.
Yeah, he's in his ring gear,
he's coming down and on a zip line.
He's in his ring gear. His ring gear in the bar.
The best part about that, the best part about the whole thing is you get to hear this music instead of other stuff. This is the best. So if I can get it for you.
A Razor?
That is one of the best songs in the movie.
I think so, right?
Yeah.
It was a good song.
You should be passing.
But yeah, now that I think about it, how did Michaels is in the bar in his outfit, and the Marines go up and they're like, "No, I'm gonna put a quarter in the jukebox and we'll put a song on." And then he puts the quarter in, one of the Marines, and it's Sean, and Sean comes out there, what the fuck? And it's a whole wrestling angle in my opinion. The Marines are like, who's this fucking guy? And then that starts it, and then at the end of the night it ends up the Marines beat the shit out of him. Everything's a wrestling angle in my head, so it has to be booked that way.
Whipping them with his long earrings.
That scenario I just painted to you, was better than the booked match between Douglas and Ramon. I'll give you that. I'll tell you that.
There had to be. Well, that sounds good. That's the second episode of Right Place, Right Time. Hit us up on Instagram at O.W.P 2019. Click on Linktree. You can find us on several platforms, including Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. This is Dave, Jess, Cuz, and Craig with the O.W.P signing off. Have a good one.